but this is for somebody that might already deal with some symptoms with dry fasting, and this is a good way to kind of step into it, ease into dry fasting. What's up, fasters? Welcome to another video, and we are going to talk about dry fasting and how to prepare for dry fasting. So if this is your first time on our channel and have not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other types of fasting videos that we do here on this channel. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So if you are those people that are want to get into dry fasting and have done a little bit of fasting, this is the video for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to prepare to do a dry fast. So why is it important to train and do a dry fast? Well, if you have not done a dry fast before, or have only done a limited amount of other types of water fasting or intermittent fasting, you can understand that it is a lot to do with how much it puts on the body when you do dry fasting, and you definitely want to prepare for it and train for it, because it's probably one of the most extreme parts of fasting is dry fasting versus the other types of other fasting that we do. And not only that, when you prepare for anything in life, you want to make sure that you're preparing for doing dry fasting. I know for me, when I was first attempting doing dry fasting, I didn't have much of a difficulty with it because I've done water fasting very extensively, but even growing up, I've done dry fasting just because of religious things. It's part of my religion that we actually do dry fasting once a month. So that's just kind of something that my body's been used to. But I know for a lot of my patients who have not done any types of fasting or detoxification, don't do dry fasting because it can be really difficult on their body. So I'm going to talk about 4 steps of how to actually really prepare to do a dry fast. Now the first step, this has to do with people, now not everybody's going to be at this level. Some are a little bit more experienced fasters than others, some are very beginners. But I'm going to discuss about every step when it comes to preparing how to do a dry fast. So the first step is, if you've never done any type of fasting, water fasting, intermittent fasting, what I recommend is to start doing a juice fast, or what we call as a liquid fast first. And what this can be simple of doing veggie juicing for a day or 2, or doing a liquid fast, which is going to be just doing veggie broths, bone broths, liquids for about a day or 2, where you can actually, your body gets used to just kind of doing liquids, but still has some kind of minerals and some kind of nutrients while you're doing somewhat of a fast. It's kind of an easy way, ease in to start doing fasting. The other thing that you can start incorporating when you are doing a juice fast or a liquid fast to prepare to eventually do a dry fast is make sure that, if you haven't done it already, start doing intermittent fasting. So definitely start narrowing your window down to eating within an 8-hour window frame every day, or at least 5 days out of the week. Then eventually moving where you're skipping both breakfast and lunch, maybe a couple of days out of the week, and so on. So as you're doing that, then you could start moving into water fasting. That would be step 2, is to move towards doing water fast. And so you can start by doing 24 or 36-hour water fast, maybe doing once a week. And then once you get kind of used to that, especially when you're doing the intermittent fasting, then starting to move into what I call step 3, and that is by doing prolonged fasts. But not just prolonged fast, but prolonged water fast. So this is something that you can start doing like 3, 4, 5. Some people do a whole week of doing water fast. But keep in mind that you've already been doing juice fasting, you've already been doing intermittent fasting, but also more importantly that I forgot to mention is, as you're implementing these fasting practices, you also want to make sure that you're consuming a good healthy diet. A very wholesome healthy diet really does help when it comes to doing fasting. You're not going to have to deal with a lot of the symptoms that come along with fasting if you are eating a more wholesome diet. Why this is important is because you think about it, what is fasting for? A lot of people use it for losing weight. That's great, because losing weight is also a process of detoxifying, but it is for detoxifying all parts of the body. So that way, when you are detoxifying so much and you're still primarily eating crappy food, your body has a lot more to detoxify. But if you are eating more wholesome foods, it doesn't have to detoxify as much, so you won't get what we call the detox types of symptoms, which is headaches, nausea, vomiting, possibly some abdominal pain. I mean, the list goes on. I've already have some other videos about that you guys can check out. But Again, going back to the prolonged water fast, when you're doing the prolonged water fast, this can really help you prep to doing a dry fast. So that, moving on to step 4, after you've done some prolonged water fast, then you can actually start implementing doing dry fasts. Now, I know a lot of you probably will be on here, well, I started with dry fasting and I just did fine. That's true, that there's lots of people that have just jumped in and just doing a 24-hour dry fast and been fine with it. Everybody is different, and I have to stress this point, but this is for somebody that might already deal with some symptoms with dry fasting, and this is a good way to kind of step into it, ease into dry fasting. But some people, yeah, I mean, if you find that you go right into dry fasting and it isn't an issue for you and you haven't really done a whole lot of water fasting, well, your body just does really well with it and can adapt to it. But everybody is different, and I have to stress that every time. I know a lot of people say, oh, I've done dry fasting all the time. I never had to really do water fasting or so forth. So it, again, just really understand that everybody is different. But again, when you're trying to do the prolonged water fast and moving right into dry fasting, it'll make it a lot easier. The other thing I want to mention, maybe I guess a 5th step, instead of just only 4 steps, but also the types of foods that you're eating to prep for a dry fast. And that is trying to decrease your carb intake and increase your healthy fat intake. Increasing your healthy fat intake has shown in research, especially for people who are trying to get the benefits of dry fasting, have shown research to actually increase the oxidation of fat metabolism. And also, when you're doing dry fasting, it decreases the carbohydrate metabolism. And when you are increasing more fats into your diet, you're going to be primarily using fat for fuel versus the sugar glycogen storage that we store for fuel. So by doing that, that can also help prep for dry fasting. People who are more on the keto diet can actually have an easier time doing dry fasting because they're already in that ketosis state where they're breaking down the fat for fuel. And that's what happens when you're in a dry fast or doing water fasting. So both of those aspects will be easier if you are primarily trying to consume more healthier fats versus consuming a lot of high carbs. So definitely switching those two will be really beneficial when it comes to trying to prepare for a dry fast. So that is it for today. If you guys have any questions about dry fasting or any types of fasting, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. And if you guys really like this video, give us a big thumbs up. Go ahead and share with your family and friends. And as always, if you are new on this channel and are looking for fasting health tips, as well as other fasting videos such as dry fasting, intermittent fasting, and detoxification videos, go ahead and hit this subscribe button over here and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other future videos that we do produce here. So, and also hit these links over here if you are interested in some other videos that we produce. And until next time, love you guys. This is Dr. LeGrand signing out. Thanks. Bye.